All right, when it comes to making outbound calls, when it comes to open houses, when it comes to trying to convert leads, most people struggle, and they don't want to be considered cheesy salespeople with commission bread. They want to have success with these people, but most people have not been through fundamental training. So here's a few different strategies that if you implement right away, you absolutely will get better results on every single type of prospecting, on every single, and these will help relationships as well. I mean, like these are just good communicating skills and formats so that you have less rejection and objection in your ideas to move whatever your objective is forward. Okay. So first and foremost, tonality, power, pace, and assumption. These are some of the critical elements that will ensure you get more results. Even if you're a math, you don't have to change your sales skills level. You don't have to change your approach, but if you just add these different things. And so like for example, tonality, we talk about it all the time. It's not what we say, it's how we say it. If I say, I'm a lot of people kind of consider me like I'm really good. I'm like a really good salesperson to some people versus most people think I'm phenomenal at sales. Right? Massive difference in how it's taken. Okay. The example that we use all the time is you can play with these words. You can change these words to add value or meaning. And you can also use tonality to completely change a sentence to drive the value. So for example, I used to make this mistake all the time when I was on the phone. I would tell people, my goal is to help you get everything you want. Well, prospects only hear the first part, my goal, me, my goal, right? Even though the meaning of that sentence to me was, I want to help you get everything you want. I want to fight to get you everything you deserve. However, if I change that tonality and I say, my goal is really to help you get everything you want. I get you the most amount of money with the least amount of stress on your preferred timeline when selling your home. Your. Takes all the emphasis off me. And all I did is move the tonality. Okay. In this example, like for example, I didn't say she stole the money. How many different ways do you think you can say that? How many different meanings does that sentence have? 5 or 6. Because you could say, I didn't say she stole the money. Diana did. I could say, I didn't say she stole the money. I texted it. I didn't say she stole the money. He did. I didn't say she stole the money. She borrowed it with 0% interest and never intends to repay it back. I didn't say she stole the money, but she most certainly did take the data, right? So you can use this tonality, and we want to focus on where we put that. And that is the perfect example of, hey, my goal, Diana, is to make sure you get everything you want when you're buying a home. I will make sure that you get the best home at the best price on your preferred timeline with the least amount of stress. That is something that you want, isn't it? Right? So we want to be cautious and aware of where we're putting the tonality because it can change the whole sentence. Okay. Pace. When we're talking on the phone, if we're talking like really, really fast and we're doing all this different kind of things and we're saying, hey, I sell homes and I'm really, really good at it and I appreciate you. And, you guys using a new agent. One, they can't really hear you. Right. And two, they assume that you're nervous because when we're nervous, we speak faster. We speak faster because we don't want to leave enough pause in there because we're trying to get around the objection. So we just talk. Because if we're talking, they can't tell us no. But the faster we speak, the faster they want to get off the phone because if they can't hear us and it's causing them anxiety, think about it. Think about an animal that's scared and nervous. Do we run up to that animal as fast as possible and say, come here, come here, come here? No, hey, it's okay. It's all right. Come here. It's okay. Right? The same principle applies in sales. If we're laid back in the right way, and I mean on our pacing, hey, what I do is I help people sell homes that other agents couldn't or didn't. I specialize in it. Where were you going next after you sold this home if you did sell it? Right? It's a very good conversation. We can make sure. I always tell everybody, think about the pace that you would speak on the phone with maybe a 75-year-old grandmother.
Yeah.
Slow it down. Okay. Power, authority. Okay. We want to speak with a level of authority and a level of power that influences them to buy into what we're saying. If I say something softly, we should be able to do that. Like, it could be, it'd be nice. Versus I say, we can absolutely do that. Okay. We want to speak as if we sell 50 homes a year. We want to speak as if we are successful because we are, right? Doctors don't come in like, I'm not really sure what it is. Hey, I think it could be one of these two things, right? And it comes from practice and repetition, but we want to make sure, are we speaking with authority? Because we want to be people that speak with authority. Assumption. We never want to assume what a prospect's telling, like what their scenario is. We never want to assume we know what they want. We want them to tell us what they want. We want them to tell us what their challenges are. We want them to tell us what the reasons for their choices are. We want to tell them to tell us what their emotions are behind that. We never want to assume any of that. But we do want to assume that we are, of course you're going to talk to me. Why wouldn't you talk to me? I'm an awesome person. You're an awesome person. We're having a good conversation. You've got a problem. I've got the solution. Why would anybody in their right mind not want to talk to somebody that's friendly, that'll give you zero pressure and help you be educated to make the best decisions, right? So that shows up with some of our conversation. We don't want to say that wouldn't work for you, would it? That's assuming that something's not going to work for them. Well, I guess that wouldn't really be a good fit for you, would it? Right? We want to say, well, hey, we can show you how to sell the home for the most amount of money with the least amount of stress on your preferred timeline. I mean, that's obviously something you'd be interested in, isn't it? Hey, I can help you get the best home with the best price. I can bring you off-market properties, and I can put you in touch with lenders that'll compete for your business to ensure you're getting the best interest rates. That would be a value for you, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Of course it would. Awesome. That's exactly why we got to speak, right? So when we have the right pace, slow, we use power and confidence in our tone, and we put the emphasis on the right words, and we layer the end of our questions into assumptive yeses. Just that format right then and there is going to lead to friendlier conversations, uncovering more conversational flow, and lead to higher success rates. Okay, that's one strategy that you can implement right away that not only will change how you speak to clients, but also to family, friends, colleagues, people in your sphere. Okay, the second one is cushion value question. Okay, and this is instrumental when it comes to handling any objection, right? Because you may reach out to them and say, hey, I help people sell homes for more money, and they come back and they say, not interested. So their guard is here, right? Not interested. Okay. A lot of agents will say, well, what aren't you interested in? It's combative. I believe this. I'm a Republican. Oh, yeah? Why don't you like Democrats? It's combative. If you try to battle people when their guard is up, you're less likely to succeed. You're less likely for them to want to get off the call because you're pressuring them. Okay, the first thing in anything is we want to acknowledge what they're saying, but we want to do it in a soft way, going back to tonality, right? So when any objection comes up, you have to remember that the prospect's guard is up. And it's also, before you get to handling the objection, we got to bring it down. And so the first step is the cushion. Let them know you're listening to them and give them the ability and the time to lower their guard. And the cushion almost always should be delivered in a lower tone. I'm not interested. Diana, I can appreciate that. That totally makes sense. I'm calling you out of the blue. You don't know who I am. Totally understand that. All right. They get me. Right? Okay. So for example, that might come up like, oh, I already have an agent in mind, and I think I'm going to use them. Oh yeah. What's so special about that agent you like? Combative. Versus, I can appreciate that you've identified a few characteristics with this agent that could lead you to believe that they'll be capable of helping you. Totally makes sense. Sounds like you're on the path. Okay, step 2. Now that I've lowered their guard, right? Because if you've ever been in an argument and somebody finally starts to get on the same page, it dissipates the negative energy, right? So step 2 is building value. So now that I've lowered the guard, I got to give them a reason for why I'm on the phone. I got to give a reason why I'm going to keep going on. Because if they go not interested, and I say, that totally makes sense. Well, see you later. Have a good day. I lose. They win. They go off and work with somebody else who isn't as good as us. and I go, on to the next one. Maybe my goals will be accomplished next week. Okay, so we say, hey, no problem. I appreciate you found an agent you think is going to be able to help you. Then we deliver a value statement. Okay, on average, just so you, hey, I totally understand you found somebody that you think can help you. Just so you know, Diana, on average, we net sellers 2% more than 99% of the real estate agents out there in the San Diego market on the net sale of their home. Value statement. Hey, I can appreciate you met one buyer agent at a buyer's open house and that you liked them. And just so you know, we have helped numerous buyers get hundreds of off-market properties so they can get the best deal on a home. And we have resources that nobody else has. Value statement, something that is around what they may want. Okay, and then after that, step 3, so we've got cushion, we've got value. Step 3 is question. Okay, after we've delivered the values, the cushion, after we've delivered the value statement, we gotta end in a question that opens the conversation back up and leads to a yes. Okay, so for example, hey, I can appreciate, Diana, that you found an agent that'll be able to help, you think will be able to help you. On average, I've helped clients net 2% more on the sale of their home than 99% of all other realtors in the county. Wouldn't you agree that getting the most amount of money for your home is a value? Right? So we want to have a little slight edge to it and a little bit of wouldn't you agree that's a good value though? Right? You aren't interested in this, but you got to agree that's a pretty good value, right? You got to agree most people want more money with less stress. Isn't that right? Assumptive, right? Come on, I know you're not really feeling me in the beginning, but come on, you got to admit that's kind of valuable, right? Yes, that is valuable. Awesome. And then back to the script. Awesome. And then went back to the conversation. Cushion it, bring their guard down, give them a value statement that you know that they will most likely agree with, and finish the conversation with a question that opens up to a yes, regain control of the conversation, and go right back into the line of questioning. Strategy number 3. Okay, strategy number 3. That's exactly why we need to meet. And we've talked about this one over and over again. Many times we talk ourselves out of a listing appointment. We talk ourselves out of a meeting with a buyer. You know, I think I'm thinking about selling my house, but I'm also thinking about renting the property, so I don't really need a real estate agent. Totally understand where you're coming from. Sounds like you're evaluating which direction to go. That's exactly why we need to meet. And the power, the pace, and the assumptive is all got that edge to it, right? Hey, that makes total sense. Some of my best clients said the same thing. You're on this space where you need to do some research. Is it better to sell? Is it better to buy? That's exactly why we need to meet. Notice the elevation in the tonality. Notice the elevation in the emphasis. That's right there. The same reason. That's the same reason why you're saying you don't really need to talk to me. That's the exact reason why we need to meet. It applies universally. Hey, I'm thinking about selling my house next year. Awesome. I understand that right now is not the timing. I understand you're thinking about selling it next year. That's exactly why we need to meet now. Okay. Hey, I'm thinking about buying a house next year. Oh, that's fantastic. I once worked with a buyer that was going to buy a home 3 years out. That's exactly why we need to meet now. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about interviewing multiple agents. Awesome. You sound like an open-minded research type of person that really wants to get the best solutions. That's exactly why we need to meet. I'm not sure about the market and what's going on, so I'm kind of putting everything on pause. Nobody knows what's going on. Hey, I get that the real estate market's been up and down all over the board. I focus on educating clients so that they're in the best position to make the best decision. That's exactly why we need to meet. Strategy 4, feel, felt, found. Strategy 4, feel, felt, found. Okay, feel, felt, found is another style of cushion value question. And it's very, very simple. They give us an objection. I'm going to use a family member who just became an agent. What we really want to say is good luck. No, just kidding, right? I'm going to use this agent. I'm going to use that agent. I'm going to use an agent that specializes in this. I'm going to do this, this, and that. This is my choice. This is what I'm doing. Hey, you know what, Diana? Again, their guard's up, right? I appreciate how you feel. Okay, I lower my tone. Hey, I appreciate how you feel. I can see why you're saying that. Some of my best clients felt the same exact way. What they found was that I was able to get them thousands of dollars of more money through my negotiating, my marketing, and my experience of how to position properties correctly. So that way, clients can get the most amount of money when they sell their home, which is obviously something that would be valuable to you, right? I understand how you feel. Some of my best clients felt the same way, but what they found was insert value proposition. These things right here are ways to dissipate the negative energy, lower the guard, deliver value, and open up the conversation without ever pushing people, without ever being salesy. And some people won't practice these techniques because they say, well, I don't want to be a pushy salesman. If somebody has a problem and let's say somebody had a form of cancer and they were walking down the street and they got into a conversation with a stranger, and this stranger happened to be a scientist or a doctor in this like he was the guy for that type of cancer. And she'd already been to 2 or 3 other people that were generic doctors. She may say, I don't want to talk to you because, I'm a generic doc. I've already gone to the doctors. And he may say, I can appreciate that. And I'm the expert, right? So I'm not being pushy. You obviously have an ailment you want to get healed with. If somebody is in an open house by themselves, looking for a home in the next 6 to 12 months, and they have not spoken to an agent, they have not spoken to a lender, they have not started to educate themselves, they need your help because they should be doing that. Because their timeline doesn't always align with market timeline. And you may call them back in 6 to 12 months and they may not be able to afford the home. They may be paying too much in interest. They may all these different things. It's important to get your steps in place first. Sellers with canceled and expireds, right? I'm fine. I'm good. You're really not. I appreciate how you feel. Some of my best clients felt the same way. They had properties that didn't sell. What they found was doing the same thing over and again and hoping for different results was the definition of insanity. If I could show you a way to sell the house for the most amount of money with the least amount of stress on your preferred timeline and guarantee you would never have to have another phone call with an agent telling you that your property expired, is that something that would be of value to you? These are just crystal clear lines of communication, and they go even through relationships and friendships and whatnot. Somebody might have something they say, we're like, I'm tired of the way you talk to me. I appreciate how you feel. Sometimes I get a little pushy and I get fired up and I care about things. And so, some of my best friends have said the same thing and they felt the same way. What they found was, I really care about people. I'm all in on you. And it didn't mean anything. So let's talk. These things right here will help people move the conversations forward no matter what they're doing. If you have any questions about these or you want to come to more trainings like this, just hit us up. You can email me at joshp@firstclassre.com, 1st classre.com. You can look me up on ponoisms.com, ponoisms.com. We have numerous trainings every single week that are free. All brokerages are invited. All agents are invited. Doesn't matter what city you're in, what brokerage you're in. Tuesdays at 11, Wednesdays at 10:30. Thursdays 2 to 3. We have call recording sessions. We have sales training sessions. We are absolutely focused on teaching people how to convert leads at a high rate, grow their businesses, scale their businesses. And we're just trying to work with people that are awesome and have really awesome meetings. Let us know if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you.